For Grace Lee Boggs, how have you kept your unwavering optimism in the midst of intense criticism? And also, how do you move forward in creating positive futures in challenging situations that are prejudiced, if that makes any sense? Systems that are old and difficult to penetrate. How do you forge futures in that creatively? Sorry. Okay, so Daniel, what sort of dialogue and exchange do you think that Copenhagen and Detroit can genuinely have? And I have another question for him too. Do you think that this exchange between the two cities can be rooted in action? And if so, can you give me an example of what that is? Yeah. Okay, Leon, as an outsider to Detroit, how can you operate ethically in your practice? I have one more question for him too. And also for Leon, do you think that the locals in Detroit perceive you as being just one more hip artist that's come to the city to make a name for yourself? Because it's true. This is for Khalil. He's the city planner. He's not on Daniel's list, but Michelle would say he should be asked. So Khalil, as an employee of the city of Detroit, do you feel that you operate in a top-down way? It's important. I would say for Amy, how do you think that educational institutes, grassroots initiatives, and municipalities cooperate effectively together? And also, do you find your position as a mediator as something that you, no, let me ask this question over again, sorry. Should I do the whole thing over again with her? No, it doesn't matter. Okay, Amy, do you find yourself as a mediator in between these three agencies, and do you like that role? Shay, how do you work to extend Grace Lee's mission and philosophy? And also, behind the scenes, how do you, what is the working relationship like with her? KT, who was what? Urban farming guy? Okay. So for KT, do you think that any of the methods that are used in Detroit for urban farming, do you think they can be exported elsewhere? And if so, how do you work within ownership of space in other areas? Is that right? Yeah. Monty is the 555 Arts, right? Monty, how do you shift, or how do you work with shifting an identity from something that is negative to something that is positive? And Michael. Let's see. Michael, what exactly do you profess in regards to critical theory? And how does that extend to the city of Detroit? And also, how does that extend to the idea of social practice and art making? And also, I want to know what it's like to work with Leon. Is that it? Hada? Stretch out what? My questions? I can. I mean, it's nerve-wracking.
Why would you ever take him seriously?
Hi, I would like to ask you, how do you interpret the meaning of your art in space? And what are your thoughts about meaning of art and the production of space, do people actually appropriate your art and make it their own? And does it add to the collective value of the production of space? How do you translate your research into practice? How do you see your role as an academic to help the further development of Detroit? Okay. How do you see yourself as an advocate for the local community? And what qualities from this community do you hope to advocate for in the further planning of Detroit?